Guess we live. All right. We live yet? We live? We live? Looks like we live. All right. Let me see. Make sure we live. Before we go live, before I start talking, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I don't know what name I'm gonna get a show yet, but oh, we're not live. What's going on? I don't know what I'm gonna get a show yet, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, I'm still working my way up to it. I just gotta make sure all systems are a go, it's working. Jeez. Are we live? Are we live? Are we streaming? I guess we must be live. It says we live, but I don't see nothing. Come on, man. Still trying to figure this out. Still figuring it out, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with me real quick. It says that we're live, but we're just trying to make sure that we are live on a Godcast. Well, the Godcast, this ain't the Godcast. This is the vodcast, the vidcast, the vodcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get into the subjects in a second. I just want to make sure we broadcasting and we are live. Boy, oh boy. See, this is the shit about technology. You gotta know what you're doing. You really gotta know what you're doing. Are we live? Are we live? Come on, man. Preview screen. Is that the preview? What's going on here? Studio mode. No, I don't think we're live. Hold on. All right. No, I don't like this. What's going on here? Okay. Fuck it. Let's just see what we're gonna do. All right. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the live show today. Today is January the 9th. It's 10:30, 10:29, 10:30, and I would like to welcome y'all to, I won't even say this is the Illmind Capsule. We're not back with the Illmind Capsule yet because, you know, like I said, I'm still waiting for my partner, Shah, to come through so we can get that jump start in 2025. But, no, we're gonna freestyle. We ain't gonna freestyle, but I gotta come up with a name for the show. I'm still undecided yet. You know, this is gonna be like my little segment of my little show, you know, whenever I feel like just going on. But, you know, there's a few things I wanna cover as I'm coming back to streaming. I'm learning a lot of things. I'm learning a few things about streaming that I didn't know before. You know, how to set up everything myself. As you see right now, it's just me. I don't got the rest of the crew over here. Unfortunately, we had to reduce the staff. So, you know, I'm kind of pretty much hands-on everything right now. You know, it's not something that I decided. I wish the staff and the crew and everybody was still here. But things happened. Things happened that was out of my control, that I could not control. You know, sometimes you have people around you that wear masks, and you really don't know who people are. And I always said that when I'm coming back to streaming, that we would address this when we come back. Because a lot of things happened. People went to jail. People got locked up. Some people committed suicide. Well, one person committed suicide. Rest in peace to Keon. Unfortunately, Keon Banks is no longer with us. I was like my little brother, my little ninja, my little mentee, you know, much younger. And I mean, yeah, let's address that real quick before I address the other crews on the staff and what happened to everybody and why we're kind of like short-staffed right now. So we're in the process of rebuilding, rebranding the whole platform, the whole network, Illmind Capsule, the whole YouTube, everything, you know. So you might see some new faces, some familiar faces from the past. Definitely you're gonna see Shawborn Infinite. You know, I don't know about our other co-hosts. They might come back, they might not. But we'll save that for later too. You know, because there's a lot of stuff to address. It's a lot. So while we're starting off, I want to address this whole thing about mental health illness. You know, mental health illness seems to be something very big in the community that we rarely talk about. You know, like I think a lot of us have, if not a lot, we have a little bit. We all have a little bit of mental health illness that we deal with every day. Some are traceable, some are non-traceable. And it's hard to detect when people are going through stuff, whether they're stressed out, whether they're depressed in life. It's a lot of things that make people depressed. So the last time we was live with the Illmind Capsule broadcasting from Freeman Tower Studios, which was our original studios. You know, it's about the same size as this space right here. That was an Ironbound. So we had a full staff. We had a full team. You know, I opened up my apartment, my condo, to like, you know, the whole crew where it was more of a creative space, and we just got busy. You know, we got busy, created music, created videos, created live stream podcasts. It was just a space of creativity, and I intentionally turned that space into a creative space because I saw a need for it in the city, in our city right here in Newark. I saw a need for it right here in the city, in our city in Newark, and yeah. So what it seemed to have been happening around the time was that there was a lot of creatives in Newark, but they didn't have no place to go create. Some of them needed spaces to live in, you know, to develop their art, to develop their craft, and stuff like that. And, you know, me being the type of person I am, I opened up my space and invited these young individuals into my space to kind of mentor them and just kind of guide them and give them the right way to go about developing themselves and developing their art. You know, I made it very affordable. I mean, some of them actually lived with me in-house. I took on 2 artists a year. I won't even call them struggling artists, but they were young artists trying to figure out their way in life. So what I would do is take on 2 artists a year, give them a space to live at a discounted rate, and we just, help them with their music, develop themselves, their artwork, their photography, their videos. Everything was in the space for them to create. They didn't have to go nowhere to look for stuff to create. And me being the creative person that I already knew how to create or to help them refine a lot of stuff. So things came easy. Now, part of the whole goal was also to make sure that as they were creating, after the year was done, they were able to move out and eventually get their own space, get their own apartments, set up their own studios in their apartments, get cars, get jobs, whatever they said their vision was, we helped them set themselves up in that direction. So Keon, man, that was a tough one for me. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, because just respectfully to his folks, his family, his mother, his community. I know what happened, but we won't dwell too much into it right now till I know that it's okay and it's safe to actually really touch on these subjects, because it's a very sensitive subject, the subject of suicide. There's quite a few people in the city that have been victims of suicide, and it's sad. You never know what people are going through. You never know what's going through their mind, what they're dealing with in their personal lives. But you see, I try to be the best mentor, brother, especially if I decide that I'm gonna take somebody under my wing, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that for a while, because I'm still healing. I'm still healing from that situation. So with Keon, when Keon moved out, he was all set up in his apartment, but some of the things that he dealt with was pill popping. He tried to live that fast life, be out there clubbing. Yo, can you turn that down real quick, please? It's bleeding in the mic. Yeah, he tried to live that fast life. He was outside partying, drinking, pill popping. He had a girl, and all of that stuff. And eventually, tune in. Yeah, they tuning in. Eventually, it caught up to him, because when they found him dead with his girl, and they both committed suicide. It's unfortunate, because the last message he sent me said that he was saying that he was depressed and he was tired of life, and I thought he was joking. And I said, "Man, boy, knock it off." I said, "Boy, knock it off." And I feel bad for not taking it serious. He told me he needed a place to stay. And I said, "Boy, why would you? If you need a place to stay, you can always come stay with me. Got your community, your grandmother. Man, I didn't take him serious. I had my own stuff that I was dealing with, that I was going through. And now that I look back at it, I should have probably listened or tuned in a little more to see what he was dealing with. And maybe he'll still be here. But nonetheless, it took me a while. It took me about a year. I still haven't grieved for Keon yet. I still haven't really found the time to really grieve for him and work through the emotions, because I couldn't let the emotions distract me from all the things that I had going on in my personal life. So that's why I said, man, always check on your folks. Even though they tend to look tough and strong all the time and act tough and act like they strong, people are really dealing with a lot of stuff out here, everyday life. Life is easy, but it's not easy. It's a lot of younger people still trying to figure out their way. I remember when I was younger, it took me a while to get it right, to get it together. And I'm glad I was able to like figure it out. You know, I never really had like any irrational thoughts of like me checking out when things got hard, but you know, people deal with circumstances and situations differently. So, I mean, there's more I could say about that, but you know, I'm just going to I'm going to leave that as is right now, and not touch too much on that. But that's definitely an issue that I want to revisit at some point and address. And we might, when we come back to the Ill Mind capsule in this year to nine, um, that's something that we definitely gonna touch on. And yeah, me, Shah, and whoever is here with us, we're definitely gonna touch on it, and we're gonna reintroduce the cast and the crew. So Keon was just one. Unfortunately, he's not here with us. Condolences to his family. Rest in peace to Keon Banks. We also have a whole library of his music and beats and stuff like that. So when we come back to the whole platform, the whole show, we'll definitely be like dropping some exclusives and just, you know, playing some stuff, sharing some stuff in remembrance of Keon. So that's that. So that's one member. Another member I want to touch on. This one is hard. And I told him I was going to touch on this and restore integrity on behalf of the Ill Mind Capsule, on behalf of Shawborn Infinite, on behalf of everybody that was involved. Spencer Fro. See, a lot of y'all, even most of the staff didn't really know Spencer. I knew him. He was somewhat of a business partner, a collaborator in the community, in the arts community. But you see, one thing that I noticed is that people love wearing masks. You know, everybody wears a mask. So you never know, you know, when people are being genuine or them being themselves or wearing a mask. You never know what they're hiding, their insecurities, their fears, their addictions, whether it's addictions, trauma. It's a lot. Well, I'm gonna say this. Spencer's locked up, doing some time. He got caught, you know, raided, you know, and one thing led to another, and yeah, Jesus, how do I even say this? They found some porn that he wasn't supposed to be having, some kiddie porn, on his laptop, on his computers, a whole lot of, well, not a whole lot of kiddie porn. They just found a whole lot of porn, but somewhere in there they found some kiddie porn. And I'll tell you, I don't watch porn. It's not my thing. If I'm going to indulge in sexual activities, I'd rather do the real thing and get a lady. Because, you know, for me, I'm not judging anybody that watches porn or that's into that lifestyle. But that could lead down a slippery slope, you know. And as you can see, you saw where it led Spencer, and he's not here right now. And that kind of hurts. Well, it doesn't hurt, in a sense. It did hurt because when you trust people or you think you know people, yeah, it's one thing to think you know people, but you really don't know them. It's one thing to think you could trust people, especially if you didn't grow up with them. You know, but we really don't know the people around us every day. Yeah, that was a very tough one for me to deal with. So those are two. And then when even before that happened, we already were having like issues on the set of the Ill Mind Capsule. You know, we had crews deciding to go start their own podcast, you know, separations. I mean, which is usually the case with a lot of bigger podcasts that have, different hosts and co-hosts. As you can see in the past, JBP podcast have had to revamp their crew. The Math Hoffa show, they've had to you know, switch up co-hosts or hosts. Co-hosts, I'll say. So, yeah, we went through a little bit of that too early. We went through it. So as a cause of that, and also because, I jumped on the campaign with the now elected, or he's in office now, Do It All from Lords on the Underground. I jumped on his campaign. It kind of slowed us up a little bit. And with everything that happened, it took me a while to get back into even wanting to be on camera. And just hosting and getting back to what I love to do. Having conversations, real life conversations, conversations that are important, that affect the community, conversations that I feel are important to myself, and that could also help other people along their way, along their journey. I mean, just to show you how long it's been. I mean, look, I got locks now, and they getting long. But the last time y'all seen me, I didn't really have no locks. Y'all can go back and look at the videos from the Illmind capsule, and y'all see for yourselves. But yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna be growing my locks for, but I'm on a journey. And it feels good. It feels good to have this much patience to just sit back and just grow the locks. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this show not too long tonight, but certain things I just want to touch on. Like even with that, leading right into the topic of trust, there was a lot of trust issues. Just putting a team together, a family together to run a project. I mean, usually when you're paying people, you just pay them, and they work their day, whatever you pay them to do, they do their day work, or for their day pay or their day rate, and they go home at the end of the day because you're paying. A lot of that, there's no personal relationships. Does trust need to be built? Not necessarily, because you're paying. But when we're saying we're creating a project together so we could break bread eventually at some point, it takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of trust on their end, trusting me with their time and direction, because between me and Shaw, we came up with the show, and others trusted us to lead them with our vision. Now, did we trust our crew? Yeah, we trusted. I trusted them to a certain extent. I think I might have gave them more trust than they deserved. Some of them might have gave some of them more trust than they deserved, and they have violated that trust. They abused the trust, and they're not here no more. I'm a very giving person, very loving person. I try to create opportunities for myself and for those around me. When people go out of their way to try to sabotage what we're doing, or what we've created, sometimes that trust gets to get broken. Yeah. So, what do you do when trust is broken? Do you leave it broken? Do you try to fix it? Is it worth fixing? I mean, I don't know. It's a lot. It takes a lot of energy. I don't like making people wrong for what they did, but we're all grown folks, and we should be able to think for ourselves and know what we're doing, whether it's good or bad. Like, know what you're doing, like, know how it affects people around you. What are some of the things that create distrust? Being sneaky, not giving information, on what's really going on. You know, if we're all supposed to be moving as a unit, people are doing backdoor stuff and all kinds of stuff behind your back talking, when we could all be on the same page and just be transparent with each other. Jealousy, envy, people looking at where you are, looking at what you have, secretly wishing that they had that, and doing stuff, to spite you, to put themselves in position, behind what you have. So those are just some of the things that, for me, could break trust. And I could get really, really honest too, like, the lies, when you have thieves around you, things start going missing, and it's only two of y'all in the room, and if you ain't take it, who does it leave? The other person. So when money start going missing behind you giving people opportunities, and they try to deflect rather than just own their shit, it creates distrust. And somebody said it today, it seems like you had a lot of wolves around you. And yeah, it seems like I was managing a lot of wolves, moving around in sheep's clothing. So it was really kind of hard to trust. Once you start seeing things, you can't unsee the things that you see. So, yeah. What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And it could be a family, it could be a best friend that you know for 20 years, it could be a lover, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, it could be anybody. Once that trust is broken, it's usually harder to regain the trust. For me, I say like this. I usually start off with giving people 100% trust. Like, everybody gets like 100% when they start off with me. And at some point, depending on, how well you perform and if you can maintain that trust can either stay there at 100 or it could come down, it could go down. Now, are there people around me that have maintained a 100% trust? Yes, certainly, because they move upright, they move genuine, with integrity, and they know how to take accountability for their mistakes when they fuck up or when they mess up. Excuse my French. Yeah, but when trust is broken and it comes down to about 80, trust is still there, but it's just like, if people don't restore the integrity around that trust or try to bring it back up, it just keeps going down. And once it gets down to about that 50 margin and starts to go down below 50, it's a struggle to get it back to 50 and over 50. And that's when I start to even before that, I'm already paying attention and just observing how people are moving. And it's usually hard to bring people back to 100% trust or give people 100% trust. So, and as we can see, I go on social media, and this morning, and all of a sudden, Jim Jones is blasting off at Cameron and Mace, and it's sad. It's sad to see, Cameron, Mace, and 50. Now, guess what? Cam trusted Jim Jones. There was a level of trust that was there that he violated in Cam's eyes, which I can see and understand, because quite frankly, I was there for a lot of it. I seen a lot of it up front and close. And yeah, I wish them brothers didn't have to go through that. But you see, once the trust is broken, it's usually hard to regain. Now, did Jimmy trust 50? Yeah, to a certain extent. He gave his trust to 50, and he didn't realize that he was being set up, being played with. And 50 something else, man. 50 something else. He's a chess player. Shout out to 50 Cent. he's a pretty good chess player, and I wouldn't necessarily say 50 violated uh, Jimmy's trust because he was never on the same team. But you see, I don't understand why Jimmy would trust 50. You know, I don't think 50 trusted Jimmy. I think 50 knew Jimmy was just there for an opportunity, and if Jimmy had the chance to snake him or do him something on behalf of Dipset, he probably would have. You know, I mean, they had some slick remarks going back and forth at each other initially. You know, they even had like some slight competition going on with the whole workout thing. You know, and I kind of seen it there too, and they was working out, competing in a workout to see who could bench press the most and all this stuff. You know, I already peeped that was the wrong energy they was moving in, and I said, oh man, let's see how long this is gonna last. And eventually, now look at 50, collaborating with Cam and Mace. Um, I think it's a business move on 50 Cam and Mace behalf on their end. They're getting money, and I understand where Cam's coming from. Shout out to Cam, Killer Cam, Dipset, Head Honcho, salute. But yeah, what do you do when trust is broken? Do you go out and start venting like Jimmy's doing right now and start screaming wolf, start screaming victim? Do you get on camera and start crying like a baby? Listen, Jimmy. Tick tock. Yeah, I got a lot of Jimmy stories. I got a few Jimmy stories. But we're not going to get into it right now. We're not going to get into it, Jimmy. But yeah, listen, man, we had enough time to make things smooth and smoothing things out. And I've ran into Jimmy a few times, but sometimes people's egos get the best of them. So it's hard to rebuild trust. I never broke trust, but Jimmy broke my trust too at some point. And once you do that, I stop being around you. 3 occasions I can think about that Jimmy broke trust. And we'll get into it as the show continues on further down the line. But anyway, what I've been up to in my work. Oh man, listen, I've been up to a lot, man. I've been up to a lot. I've been busy. I've been working. I've been creating content for all y'all, enjoyment, whether it's music videos, working on some documentaries. I'm not gonna let anything out the bag right now. I'm working on we just wrapped up we're still working on a short movie. I believe it's 7 Deadly Sins, if I could remember the name right. They brought me on last minute, so forgive me if but I was out there supporting them, doing some PA work and some behind the scenes work. Took the director AD hat off for now. Just fell back, just watching. And just letting other people get their practice on a film set. Well, like I said, they brought me on late. I wasn't a part of the initial planning and everything, but I was just glad to be there. So we shot Monday and Tuesday. Shout out to Tobias and the crew. Man, he has a great workshop, acting, reading workshop, script reading workshop every Monday. I believe it's 6 to 9. So if you're free, if you're not doing anything and you trying to be an actor and get into script reading and acting, definitely look up Tobias or on Facebook. I forget what the group is called, but I'll make sure next time we cover it or bring it up again, I'll look up the name. I mean, I could do it right now, but I just don't want to take away from the show too much. Yeah, but we have one more day of shooting at Perry's funeral home, which is coming up Sunday, I believe. Sunday, yeah. So that should be cool. Yeah, so that covers that. I think what I've been up to. I've also been healing because, as most of y'all know, I had an ulcer about it's probably about 4 months ago now, 4 or 5 months ago. About 4 months ago, I had an ulcer. I was in the hospital, and coming out the hospital, I had to go into healing real quick. Um, yeah, and it took me a while to heal. I'm finally getting back to myself, my health, my strength, vitality. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God, my Creator, for sustaining me, for pulling me through that. Yeah, I believe in God. You know, hey, I'm God's son, T.O. NY, Tony, check it. You know, so yeah, thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Savior, for getting me through all of that. You know, because it wasn't easy and I couldn't do it myself. Um, and in the meantime, while I was healing, I was taking pictures, um, just getting back to basic. And yeah, yeah. So on that note, um, I also want to, send condolences to the people that died in the fire. We have a few deaths going on right now, actually. Um, I woke up yesterday and LA's on fire. LA's on fire, houses are burning, things are, like houses are burning. $1 million of houses, $1 million houses are burning down in California. Let me see if I can get some clips up here or something so we could kind of see what's going on. It's 11:01. We're not going to be on here long. Let's see if I could find something in a feed as far as like houses burning in California. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, LA burning. Let's see what we find out. LA burning to the ground. Wow. Wow. Well, I don't know if they're gonna flag me for this, but hopefully they won't. Excuse me. Pretty much tired. I've been at it all day. I've been at it, just getting back to the streaming, man. It's a lot of work. It gets strenuous. Damn, these are all news channels that's reporting this stuff. Where are the independent reporters? Where are the independent reporters? Oh, wow. There's a lot going on here. Well, I ain't gonna go in too much into it, but let's just, let's see. Let's see. Oh. So yeah, as you can see, some of the images in the background, LA's burning. It's crazy. Look at that, man. It's a panic. It's going crazy. People going crazy. The streets is going crazy, man. And it's sad. It's sad. Who would have thought? It makes me think about a lot of things. I mean, how is this happening right before Trump comes into presidency, before he takes the office? Wow. I mean, it makes me think about the insurance monies and stuff like that. Like how did it spread so fast? What happened happened to, oh, it goes to mayor of California. But you know what? As you can see, that's all for now. Let's just, because we don't have the rights to play a lot of this stuff, so we don't want to get flagged. As you can see, LA was burning, and it's sad, man. It's sad, man. God bless everybody out in LA, California. I hope people are safe. They make it out. Yeah, it's sad, man. I'm kind of getting, I don't know how I'm feeling right now. There's so much going on in the world. I hope everybody, stay safe, stay prayed up, stick with your families, protect each other, make sure everybody's safe. Yeah, and it's really hard to trust people these days. Know who you trusting, because everybody's wearing a mask. I think I'm gonna bring the show to an end right here. It's been real. We'll continue the conversations. This is just the beginning. I'm waiting for the crew to come through. But I said, you know what, let me just keep going live. I'm getting used to the whole feeling of getting back to the live. It's been a while, man. And I love streaming. I love podcasting, having conversations to talk about, genuine, honest conversations about life, reality, entertainment, yeah. So we'll do it again. I said, let me just jump on here real quick and have a quick conversation with y'all, which I did, just testing everything out, the systems, making sure everything is good. So I'll be back hopefully tomorrow, Saturday. I have an early day tomorrow. I have a meeting at 10, but maybe in the afternoon or maybe in the evening. We'll definitely be back. We'll be back. It's a lot to talk about. I gotta make sure I plan out the conversations and the topics about what I want to talk about. Make sure I set up the elements and the clips and the materials that I might want to share on the show. So yeah, thank you. It's been real. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace. Peace, 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 peace.